So Mark, one of the things that I cannot wait to talk about is the experience that you've had. You were held hostage and kidnapped while you were with the United Nations. Unimaginable for most people. I mean, this is something you see on the news and probably in the movies.
When you go into such incidents,
It's more than an incident. أكتر بكتير من incident. هذا شو هذا.
yeah, and I used to be the first one on the ground. On that day, صار يلي I was not expecting. أنا فيني أقول لك إنه أول شيء إجى على راسي is why me. Yeah, exactly. It was a mess.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure this has flipped the switch
صح.
with Mark. I'd love to know what that switch is.
وهلا قلت لك عنها at the beginning it was a turning point.
Yeah. Old Mark versus the new Mark, in you know who was the old Mark before these life experiences, and who is the Mark sitting here right now in front of me today. What's changed the most?
The old Mark was more a roller coaster. You reach phases where you're on top and then suddenly you go down, and then you then go up and then you go down. So هيدا الرولر كوستر it had to stop at some point. So أنا الفيجن تبعي وبقول لهم إياه لكلهم بدي إجي نهار على المكتب في 2 lines in front of the reception area. وحدة for clients.
A long line of potential clients.
A long line of potential clients.
Music to our ears.
Exactly. Number one advice is when you make a promise, keep your promises. It really demotivates الأشخاص يلي تحتنا. We rise by lifting others. كل ما توعوا كل يوم. Small act of kindness. Believe it or not, it will change a lot.
Hard times may have held you down, but they will not last forever. When all is said and done, you will be increased. Mark Diab is no stranger to adversity, transformation, and resilience. Born into a family deeply rooted in real estate in Lebanon, Mark's early exposure to the industry sparked a lifelong passion for property development and investment. But his path was anything but conventional. For 17 years, Mark served with the United Nations, navigating some of the most challenging environments in the world. It was these hostile landscapes that he forged his leadership skills, developed unshakable resilience, and discovered the true meaning of humanity. These experiences didn't just shape him, they became the foundation for how he leads and inspires today. Now a successful CEO at 101 Properties, Mark has built a company renowned not just for its results, but for its culture, a rarity in the industry. Mark's team isn't just productive, they're genuinely happy thanks to his unwavering commitment to promises, a formula of listening with humanity, and his belief in the power of lifting others to rise. In this episode, we will dive deep into Mark's incredible story, including a life-altering experience and how it shaped his philosophy of leadership and life. Mark's story is a masterclass in resilience, culture building, and finding success while staying true to your values. Mark, welcome to the Ripple Effect. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you, Hayssam.
Zaman, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Thank you for being on the show. I cannot wait to dive deep into a lot of topics, and you are one of the special guests that I've always wanted to have here on the show, so thank you very much, and Happy New Year before the rush.
Thank you so much.
So, Mark, a couple of things before I get started. I want to make this as personal as possible. I know that we're talking about many, many things today, but you and I met almost 2 years ago.
صح.
I was working on a project for a company that you also served as a senior manager there, and I was working on a culture change program.
Yes.
And so just a bit of overview of how we met, your sort of impressions, and I will share mine as well. So you go first. I'll put my 2 cents in.
So basically I think اجت بالوقت المناسب when I met you.
مزبوط.
So I was in a period of going through this transition, coming from the United Nations.
Correct.
And then going into the real estate business, Dubai, a new market, new culture, new environment. And I was a bit lost, I cannot deny it. I was a bit like how I should push forward.
Yes.
And اكتشفت بالتريننج يلي بالوركشوب actually يلي كنا عم نعمله سوا اكتشفت انه we are somehow aligned بالvision وبالطريقة اللي how we should be doing things بالbusiness life on a day-to-day basis. وبنفس الوقت لقيت انه انت شخص if I talk to وبسألك عن نصيحة you can direct me in the right direction.
Yes.
وأنا I believe إنه حيلا حدا لينجح بالحياة بغض النظر إذا قديه كان resilient وقديه كان هو he is motivated و he is doing his best. It's always that helping hand يلي بتجي من مطرح ما بتعرف من وين تجي and then it gives you this small push and then
Yes.
you continue after that.
Yeah.
So I felt during this workshop إنه I have to talk to you and I have to see how we can work together.
Yeah, I remember that conversation, and I remember how vulnerable you were, and when you told me, hey, listen, and I think you had a bit of a vulnerable moment, and you said, I've got so much to offer. I just need the right direction, and I want to thank you for allowing me to work with you. And what I've learned from you is, I talk about resilience all the time. I talk about ups and downs. I do admire you, and I admire how you approach things regardless of all the setbacks and some of the disappointments that you and I spoke about, and how, unfortunately, how some of the people we work with are sometimes not as forthcoming, and that sort of puts us in a situation where we then even lose hope in people or get reminded of who we really are and our values. And I think you've done the latter. I think you've stuck to your values. And I think you've always been honest about how you do things, whether they were right or wrong. You were very honest about them. So thank you very much. I want to jump in. I can't wait. We got so many things to talk about, Mark. And when the last time we spoke, you said something really, really nice. And I love how you worded it. You said, Hayssam, I've got something that's boiling inside of me, especially when it comes to the real estate business in Dubai, you know, and we all know what the challenges are. And so, and we will talk about that, of course. So what is it that you're eager to share with the world today? Not only the people in the real estate business, but with the world today.
Like definitely, and this is something اللي أنا لاحظته be a lot of companies in Dubai, and the high turnover of employees. ما في هالكالتشر يلي كلنا منحب. يعني أنا وقت أفوت على شركة أنا بحب فوت على شركة first الكمباني عم بتكون she's investing in me and then I'm putting also effort in this company.
Yes.
So we should be both looking for long-term relationship.
Yeah.
So unfortunately أنا اللي لاحظته إنه a lot of companies in Dubai staff just go to work for the company and then they end up either losing hope أو ما بيكون عندهم proper direction. So this is something I would really want to change.
Absolutely. وهل هيدا شيء بتلاقيه بس بمجال الريل estate, or is it typical across all companies, or is this something that you see that is typical in the real estate business environment and culture that is practically non-existent?
You will always find this in different type of businesses.
Yeah.
لأنه it depends, by the end of the day, it depends on who's running the business. Is he a micromanager? Is he a leader? Does he have the leadership mentality?
Leadership skills, yeah.
Oh, he's more on the micromanaging. He's more on focusing on only generating profits by end of the month.
Which is the biggest killer of culture.
Which is the biggest killer of the culture. And then في مشكلة تانية اللي هي من وجهها هي السرعة يلي موجودة. كله بيحط they all blame it على competition. إنه في massive competition بالmarket. We have to be really strong. We have to keep
very
on
easy
running.
to do that, is it? Yeah.
I mean,
it's very easy to ship the blame on what the competition, rather than set the bar and let the competition follow you. That's I think that's one of the mindsets that we need to instill.
So أنا what I'm trying to do here is I don't want people to leave my company. I want people to stay with me. I want people to grow with me. And one of the things يلي أنا تعلمتهم بالحياة إنه if you don't have a manager who is on the leadership mentality, you will never grow. You will always remain when أنت بالlevel يلي أنت عم تشتغل فيه. So أنا as a leader as someone who's leading a company, I should be working on the employees
Yeah.
اللي هن معي. I should be motivating them إن يصيروا أحسن مني. Other than that, we will not grow. The company will not grow. I don't care about the competition. I'll be very honest with you.
Yes.
And when we started 101 Properties, a lot of people told me, Mark, you're starting something which is already in the market, and في كتير competitors قدامك. قلت لهم I don't care about my competitors. I will build a company based on what I believe it should be based on.
Yes.
And then كل واحد بياخد رزقته بالنهاية.
Yeah, I think I like it. You know, as an executive coach myself, one of the things I see in successful leaders is they lead with heart. They lead with empathy, and a word that you and I discussed the other day is humanity, putting people's first. And I'm going to talk about the quote that I saw on your desk in a little bit. But like you said, is when they become better than us. How many leaders can really say that? How many leaders can say, hey, I want my team to rise and become better than what I do? Because great leaders create other greater leaders. I really, really like that. But if you also transitioned from humanitarian work and for about 17 years, I think you were the United Nations.
Yeah.
How did that shape your approach to business? I think it's a completely different set of skills, but there's some transferable ones, I believe also. And also that shaped your personal brand and your view, you know. How did that shape Mark in this business?
Look, working for the United Nations is not easy. And being in like the most hostile environments you can ever imagine is not easy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the years مع United Nations, I've developed a skill يلي هي the skill of adapting to any situation. So no matter where you are, no matter what challenges you're facing, no matter, you have to always come up with a solution.
Yeah.
I mean, face it. This is it. So whatever is the problem, come up with a solution. And this is what I tell my team always. When they come to me asking for like advice or, they have a problem, the first thing I say, what would you do? Before I tell you what is the best scenario.
Yes.
So what would you do? And this is something أنا تعلمته من United Nations. تعلمت لأنه أنا I used to get deployed to hostile environments where you have refugees fleeing from a war zone. And all what I have to do is basically bring them on board, take care of them, try to reduce their sufferings, البين يلي هن عم بيقطعوا فيه. So you somehow develop a skill إنه أنت تكون قوي وين ما تنحط بالحياة. At the same time أنت تخلق عندك هيدا الهيومانيتي بارت يلي التعاطف يلي هو no matter أنت شو البوزيشن اللي أنت فيها, no matter أنت الباور, لأن أنت when you're working for the UN and you go into the field, they see you as God for some reason. يعني as soon as you put the UN shirt on, you're
it's
like
salvation, it's help, it's something, somebody who's coming to help them.
So somebody is coming to help them. So هون you have to start thinking in a way that, okay, I'm not here to use my powers against you. I'm here to use my power to help you. So وهذا الشيء يلي أنا when I moved to the business world ما شفته. هذا اللي بيقهر إنه أنا when I shifted into the business world اللي لاحظته إنه leaders, managers, business owners في الهيومانيتي بارت يلي ناقص.
I think you're absolutely right. I think one of the most من المواصفات اللي هي نادرة جدا واللي عم يسعوا وراها leaders اليوم, and the most sought after qualities today is empathy and listening to your people and understanding their why and create an incredible sense of purpose. And I find that very rare. The leaders that I work with, and I repeat, I want to talk about the good leaders. In the previous shows, I'm talking about the bad leaders that I've worked with and what they do wrong. But I really want to shed light on these leaders that do bring empathy, that do put people first, that before profit and before margins and before everything else, and even before personal gain, is empathy. And what better way to practice empathy than to listen to people, right? And this is what I wanted to transition to here. You know, I've seen your journey, and I'm extremely proud of what you've done, and I think you still have a lot ahead of you, and I know there's going to be a road filled with success for you, Mark. But you've said that it's rare to find companies with great cultures, and specifically in the real estate, because we all know why, right? It's dog eat dog, all man, woman to themselves. It's about closing the deals and getting rich quick with that big commissions check, right? So yet your own team is extremely vocal about their happiness, right? And so what are those unique steps you've taken to build the winning culture that you've built so far and that you continue to build?
So basically we have to focus on different aspects. So انت already هلا ذكرت شغله انه I listen to them.
صحيح.
So كل الامبلويز انا اول ما افوت على الاوفيس in the morning I make sure to go to each office and say at least good morning. If I see someone who's not smiling in the office, I tell him why you're not smiling. I make sure that once so now as soon as I come into the office, they're all like smiling. So I need to make sure, like, if I see someone is not smiling, after I say hello to everyone in the morning, for example, I'll send a WhatsApp message, please come to my office. And then بسأل هالemployee بقول له شو في شيء let me know. So the fact انه انت بس تحسس الامبلويي عندك انه انت لو you're a CEO لو you're a business owner لو وقت انت عم تيجي تقول للامبلويي تبعك تعال اقعد قدامي وقل لي شو بك. طب we've all faced challenges. Yes. We've all been into situations where كان بدنا بس هالكلمة تتغيرنا حياتنا كلها سوا. مزبوط. و sometimes يعني بتتفاجأ انه ايام بيكون شغلة كتير بسيطة قادر انت تحلها بكلمة او شغلة مثلا قادر تحلها
بقرار صغير
من الشركة and it will not cost the company, it will cost peanuts the company.
مزبوط. بس تأثيرها على المدى الطويل. وأنا to be honest correct. أنا شفتها مع one of the employees for 2 days actually. كل ما اجت تقول لي حدا من الامبلويز يقول لي برجع بقول لك بعدين. ففي نهار أنا قلت لها no I need to know now because I cannot see حدا مش مبسوط بالشركة. I need to know now شو المشكلة. إذا I can help I will do that. If not I will tell you what's the best solution. This is great, and I spoke about this all the time, and it's whenever we see employees that are not happy, it's very easy for managers to say this guy's got a bad attitude. They're being negative, and a typical situation is like, hey man, what's going on? And I've seen you lagging, and your numbers are dropping. If you don't pull or pull yourself together and get your act straight, there's going to be consequences. So just bite the bullet. As opposed to what you're saying is like, hey man, what's going on? Let's sit down and talk about it. That small difference is incredibly impactful.
وهون مثلا في شغلة تانية بتضوي عليها إنه what if this person is not for the task he's doing. يعني بركي هذا الشخص he's doing a certain task بس منه مبسوط مش مرتاح فيها بس he has other skills where you can develop or where you can shift him to other departments, other different tasks, he can be better at his job. So this is why أنا بلاقي كتير مهم إنه كل business owner كل leader he has to sit with his employees at least once a week. And
definitely
it doesn't have to be like a formal setup.
Yeah, sometimes, but I think it is necessary to connect with your team members, like really connect. So your secret formula, your secret sauce is listening and empathy and understanding people and really focus on the humane side. And I'd love to hear a specific example. You said something about sometimes this person is not in the right job, or sometimes it's a simple decision that costs nothing. The long-term impact is huge. I'd love to hear a situation that started off bad And it ended up great.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have many.
Yeah. So one of the employees at my company, basically she joined. I've never worked with this person before, and she joined the company after X amount of month. I've realized إنه الperformance منه as expected.
مزبوط.
So I sat with this person and then هذا الشخص اجى قال لي مارك صح ما عم بقدر اعمل my job properly. بحس I'm still too junior على الشيء اللي I'm given. وأنا I don't mind resigning and إذا هذا الشيء بيأثر على الديبارتمنت وعلى الشركة أنا I'm happy to leave. أنا قلت لهذا الشخص قلت له okay let me think about it and then I'll come back to you. 5 minutes later the employee comes to my office and this sentence changed everything. So basically this employee said if you want me to leave I will leave but I'm not gonna be happy. I want to stay with this company. So
she thought about it as well.
She thought about it as well, and she's like, I really like the culture. I really like that everyone in the company, we all help each other. We all talk to each other. There's no politics. If I need help and I ask for it, كلهم they jump in to help me. قالت لي you've always been supportive وانت تحملت معي كتير و you've realized انه انا I was struggling بهذا التاسك وكنت كذا مرة عم تجي بتساعدني to push me more. So I don't want to leave the company. Please let me know what I can do. وأنا هون قعدت حكيت معه وقلت له خبريني شوي عن your background. شو كنت تعملي exactly؟ شو في skills أنت معقولة تكون
transferable ones.
Something that we can develop and شيء ممكن أنا أقدر نستفيد منه اثنيناتنا بالشركة. It turned out that she's good at sales and حطيتها مع التيم ليدر تبع السيلز عندي و they agreed to work together she's still in the company she's doing great.
That's amazing. The typical scenario would be good luck, thank you very much for your service. I think you'll find something a little bit more suitable because it's a lot easier to replace that person with somebody who's experienced rather than invest the time وتستثمر بهذا الشخص وتبني على ولائه لأنه I believe that this is one of those intangible cultural elements that leaders today seem to forget. You know, they forget that culture is not what we do, it's how we do it. Culture isn't just a program where we say, hey, right, guys, we're going to start a culture change program and, you know, it's going to be ready in 6 months. It's not. It's
a continuous...
It's a continuous project, which is why literally 9 out of 10 culture transformation programs fail for a simple reason. Because as the company grows, the glue that holds the company together, the glue that holds the culture together is empathy. Is when leaders practice and put people first, is when they make communication a priority, is when they really listen to people. So, and when they do this, which is something that I really, really loved, and I read this on your desk the other day when I was paying you a visit. It says on your desk, there's a quote that I absolutely love. And I always promote this concept is we rise by lifting others. So, what does that mean to you, and why do you have it on your desk, and how do you live that by that quote every day?
Look, تعلمتها throughout years of working in the field now in the business field. وتعلمتها the hard way actually كمان. لأنه you will reach a phase where you realize لحالك ما فيك تعمل شيء. You will never succeed alone. And what I mean by we rise by lifting others, it's not only the employees. it's also the clients. It's also our family members, our whoever is around us. I mean, the delivery guy, whoever we meet during the day. If we يعني the moment نبلش نفكر إنه نحنا أنا كل حدا بشوفه بدي أجرب شوف كيف بساعده لو بشي صغير. أوكي أنا هذا الشخص عليته. بعد وقت معين أنا ممكن يكون بمشكلة. وهذا الشخص اللي ساعدته ممكن يصير هو عم بيساعدني.
And that's the concept of the ripple effect.
That's completely true actually.
Yeah.
لأنه ما فيني أقول لك إنه أنا ما قطعت بأوقات كتير صعبة بحياتي. أنا قطعت بأوقات صعبة بحياتي لدرجة إنه I've reached a phase where I said خلص I'm finished. I'm completely finished. And then ما بعرف شو هالشي يلي فجأة بيخلق شخص بينحط بطريقك and then changes everything. And this is what I mean by we rise by lifting others. And وهذا الشيء ما كان عم بيجي لأنه هيك عم بيجي لأنه أنا I was practicing it.
Yeah.
And I truly believe in it.
I think it's a mindset, and I think I like how you said it. Not just you lift the people that are on your team, everybody.
It's
and
everybody
making,
around you.
even you step into the elevator, and you see somebody who's obviously isn't their own thought, and you say, "How are you today? Have a wonderful day." Exactly. I like your watch, nice tie, and that's lifting people. And I think that's a mindset that I think many people need to cultivate. And I salute you for that. People see versus what you see are sometimes aligned وأحيانا بيكونوا على بنفس وجهة النظر بس في شيء this is a known to self only versus to known to others. There's your public persona. This is the persona in front of your friends and your family and your loved ones and your team. But there's also certain things, these conversations that we have with ourselves on a daily basis. I'll give you an example. Maybe, and I don't say that much. The old Hayssam versus the new Hayssam. The old Hayssam was insecure. The old Hayssam was somehow blamed certain people around him for not moving fast enough. And the new Hayssam realized that it's a choice. That feeling is a choice. I choose to feel this way. And therefore, I started to work on me. And one of the things that my family tells me all the time that I'm very proud of, and I'm not just tooting my own horn, مش قاعد عم بزقف لحالي, is that Hayssam كتير اشتغلت حالك, which you were saying earlier. So now I shifted that from working on myself, understanding where the source of my insecurity is coming from, and no longer, and changing my dialogue with myself to no longer become the victim. And it's incredible how the minute I became empowered, everything changed, because now I'm able to do this. I'm able to sit people and help them, because how the hell can I help people as an executive coach, as a trainer? How can I help people if I can't help myself?
Exactly.
I would be أكبر محتال بالعالم.
صح.
تكون يعني just lip service. وهيدي عملية نحن دايمة. We are constantly evolving, constantly changing. I haven't said, oh, wallah, khalas, I've reached the top of my pinnacle. And no, I'm constantly evolving. And that's what I really want to see because it's very difficult to wear your heart on your sleeve sometimes and to share these things.
Look, from my side, أنا اللي فيني أقول لك إياه إنه the old Mark was more a roller coaster. You reach phases where you're on top, and then suddenly you go down, and then you then go up, and then you go down. So, had a roller coaster, it had to stop at some point.
Is it emotional? Was it an emotional roller coaster, or is it just a career roller coaster, or is it both?
It's actually both. لأنه مثل ما كنا عم نحكي, the fact إنه أنا I listen to people و I get emotionally affected. Let's say by their energy or by their stories, it also affects me, and it affects me big time. So which created this roller coaster in my life. So منشان هيك أنا the new Mark هو الشخص يلي he's very focused. I know what I want, and I will do anything to reach my goal. I know how to filter
Mm.
basically الاشياء اللي لازم to filter it and الاشياء اللي لازم
Yeah.
فوتها على حياتي.
Mhm.
So ما فيني انكر انه هذا الشيء كان الفضل لك كمان.
Thank you so much. No, on the contrary. Thank you. We've had some amazing conversations.
You've helped me a lot in this. وانت كنت الشخص يلي حطيت اصبعك على هذا الموضوع.
مظبوط. بعتقد انا قلت لك شغله يمكن في ناس ما قالوا لك اياها. I think I was able to identify something that maybe even sometimes the closest people to us don't want to tell us because they love us and they care about us. Even the people that we work with, they don't really tell you. And for me, when I say, okay, I'm working with Mark right now, I need to be straight to the point. You know, I'm not going to beat around the bush. And I admire how open and accepting you are of this.
So.
And I think that's a new Mark that I've seen. And let me tell you what I've seen in new Mark, if you don't mind. I've seen a new Mark who's now really focused. And I've seen a Mark who's happy. Like you're happy. Before I used to see you, you used to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders because you cared too much. And that's the double-edged sword that I was talking about. And now I see somebody who's got this energy, who's got this sense of direction, and who's really enjoying what you're doing. And you know, when I visited you in the office, you're proud. You were like beaming with positivity. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Advice before we close. Advice for, and I want to focus on the real estate business. Advice for leaders and agents. What's your advice for real estate managers? You and I we've been in close contact with many, and leaders looking to create impactful business and meaningful work cultures. يعني نصيحة لهول المدراء اللي هن هلا بهذا المجال اللي هي ليوصلوا إلى مستوى where they can create a culture of performance, a culture of engagement, a culture of collaboration. Number one advice for both.
Like I would say number one
for both the leaders and the agents.
Yeah. I will start with the leaders part. My number one advice is when you make a promise, keep your promises. لأنه معظم الأحيان leaders, managers, they promise their employees or their agents اشياء, and then later on it's something else. And هذا الشيء although يمكن لنا منحسه نحن عادة, بس it really demotivates الأشخاص يلي تحتنا.
Usually what do you think is the typical reasons? I know we promised you this, but typical responses would be like, things change, or what is it? Like, why do managers change their do not fulfill their promises?
لأنه one, they don't know what their people are going through. Most of the time يمكن ما بيعرفوا شو اللي عم بيصير بالديبارتمنت يلي المانجرز are managing. يعني أنا إذا بيجي لعندي أنا employee بيطلب شغلة مثلا بقول له I promise I will do that, and then أنا ماني عارف إنه أنا على صعيد as a company أو على صعيد as partners أو whatever is the structure is if I can't deliver it, then why would I give a promise?
صح.
بدل ما أنا أجي أقول له yes I promise you we will do that, أنا فيني أجي أقول له مثلا it's a very good idea, let me take it back, we'll discuss it, and then if I have something positive I'll come back and tell you. So ما قطشت له إياها, but at the same time أنا ما جيت وعدته بشيء وأنا I cannot deliver.
Yeah, I think also one of the things I've seen is the amount of favoritism that happens in this business is crazy. And usually the people that are favored are the assholes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those who can sell. And they sell very well. And they favor those people. And they walk around the office like they are the gods of real estate. They are the it. And they end up destroying the culture.
Yeah, and believe it or not, they don't have ownership they don't feel part of the company.
No, they don't. You know what they feel connected to? That commissions check.
Yeah, exactly.
They will step on everybody to get there. And that's I think my appeal to real estate, because the industry here is incredible. Dubai and the UAE is such a beautiful platform for this business, and it's still growing, and there's so much in the future. So we really have to and model those companies like yours and the other companies that are really doing a fantastic job, and to really not create a bad taste in people's mouths when it comes to culture and management styles and leadership styles. So basically, stick to your promises for leaders. What about for agents?
For agents, I would say they really need to work on themselves. Okay, they need to develop their skills. They really need to focus on building long-term relationships with their clients.
So that's skill number one, is build relationships.
Build relationship with your client, long-term relationship, not short-term.
What about salesmanship?
It's of course, but it's all related by the end of the day. Like, you have to be a good sales person. Okay, but at the same time انت لازم تكون كمان لازم تحس مع الكلاينت.
مظبوط.
Okay, sometimes you might يعني هي منا موضوع بس انه انا I need to close a deal, make money and then bye bye. No, هلا في كلاينت ممكن يشتري منك هلا، في كلاينت ممكن تشتغل معه 6 أشهر سنة ما يشتري منك،
يمكن احيانا اكثر
and then suddenly you see this client working with you and sending you referrals and recommending people to you. So it's really انا هي اكبر مشكلة I think the real estate industry بدبي عم تواجهها، هي انه agents are becoming too ما بعرف كيف توصفها، بس يعني they really to be human inside.
I think they see get rich quick. I think they see dollar signs.
Yeah, but you will get rich quick if you build long-term relationships.
And there's a lot who have.
And you keep a lot of people around you. This is 100%. How you get rich quick.
100%. So Mark, one of the things that I cannot wait to talk about is the experience that you've had. And you were held hostage and kidnapped while you were with the United Nations, with the UN. I think it's an unimaginable ordeal for most people. Can you share what that moment taught you about fear, hope, resilience, and maybe about yourself? And how did you get there, and how did you get out of it, and how did it shape you?
Well, لأول شيء فيني لك إنه it was not easy. It was a really difficult challenge. أكيد the first thing that comes up to your mind is why me? Why do I have to go through all this? But then
it's almost like almost denial.
It's like a denial. Yeah, يعني you're in the middle. Like, is this really happening? And then if it is, then why me?
It's surreal.
I'm not doing anything
I
wrong.
can only imagine.
I'm only here to help people. But then you realize that you have to start acting. You have to do something. If you want to get out of this, you have to be strong. This is the part يلي هو ببلش your brain. This is how you really need to work on your mindset, on your brain, on how to really be strong in such situations وتعرف كيف تطلع منها.
So during this ordeal, what was the thought or belief or the idea that was going through your head that sort of carried you through it? And maybe you carry till today, could be a value or belief that carried you through that ordeal and you continue to carry today, that shaped you for who you are at this moment, now.
Like, what I can say is that I took a decision that I want to get out of this. And I kept on saying thank you to God for everything. So this is the moment when you realize, whatever is around you is ما له قيمة. So ترجع, you go back to your inner.
Yes, I think you and I share that experience. I mean, you and I have been, you've been through the ordeal of being kidnapped and held hostage. I've been through the ordeal of surviving sniper fire and a car bomb and being in really, really in a near-death experience. And I think the one thing that I carry with me till today and that thought is that it taught me what gratitude is all about. And you just said it. You realize, say, thank God for everything, no matter how big or small. And it really shapes how you look at things. Colors change, food changes, experiences become different, and suddenly you live a life of abundance because you live in the present moment and you give everything you have in the present moment.
And it's really hard because you start saying, for example, I don't know why بصير يجي على راسك مثلا انت الاشخاص يلي مثلا كنت زعلان منهم for example بتصير تفكر فيهم. الاشخاص مثلا مرتك اولادك بتصير تقول انه يا ريت قلت لهم باي قبل ما مثلا يا ريت انا حكيتهم مثلا my wife was calling me and then I had to hang up the call because I was late. No, I wished I answered this
and
call.
now it gives you that
so هيدول الاشياء اللي بصير يجوا على راسك بصير you feel انه
they're the simplest thing at that time but they are so powerful now in my opinion.
Exactly. And this is why هلا I take advantage of each and every moment. So because I don't want to reach a phase where I have to go back mentally into this scenario.
So this experience, I think, it shapes us, and you know, it shapes us not just our mindsets and our psyche, but also shapes how we do things. And I'm going to ask a direct question. Were you able to suddenly stop and you go, okay, I got to understand what's happening around me and I got to be out of this. I got to find a way to get out. Do you credit your empathetic and listening ability to getting out?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Did you figure out personalities and how to navigate, how you communicate and how you maybe sometimes cooperate?
I think it's a skill because I can adapt to any situation. I can talk to any individual, regardless of your culture, regardless of the situation you're in. So because I'm capable of adapting to any scenario, and let's say I can play different roles, but in a good way.
Yeah, yeah, that's called being flexible and resilient.
No, because you have to adapt. You have to come up with solutions. Otherwise, you will never get out of it. So أنا الشغلة اللي بعتقد خلصتني هي إنه قدرت أخلق هذا البوند من وراء الكوميونيكيشن بيني وبينهم وخلتني أوصل لمرحلة إنه أنا لأنه by the end of the day when you are taken as hostage or being kidnapped the main goal is what? To remain alive. صح? And if you remain alive and if you get rescued which الحمد لله صارت معي أنا so if you get rescued شو المينيموم دامج يلي أنت بدك تطلع فيه لأنه by the end of the day أنت بدك تكمل ترجع حياتك
صح.
فدايما كان دايما في براسي إنه أنا I have to go with the flow. I have to find a way إنه ما عاد الأشخاص بالعكس let me be their friends. Let me get into their brains and see how I can get myself out of it. But at the same time, if I get out of it, how can I get with minimum damage on myself?
The ultimate description of what emotional intelligence is all about. I think, you know, we talk about EQ is about first and foremost, these events make you learn about yourself, what you can do. So that's the self-awareness part of EQ. Second one is the awareness of what's happening around you, personalities and communication styles and sort of drives and motives. And the third one is choosing the kind of person you want to be in that situation.
Exactly.
Intelligently, free of fear or ego or worry. And then it allows you to think clearly and get out, well, almost unscathed, because there is some kind of collateral damage, which is emotional, I think. But I think does not outweigh the positives out of these experiences.
The damage, of course, there's damage after you get out of any such incidents. But
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I think this experience also helped me a lot in my business life. Because no matter what, and you know, when you're a CEO, you basically you have the most difficult job ever. You're not an employee.
Tell me about it.
You're not an employee where you have to close
Yeah.
your laptop at 6 and then go home, and you know you have to. I mean,
We have to worry about 6,000 to 7,000 things in advance.
yeah, you need to make sure that everything is running smoothly. Basically, أنت الشخص يلي بس يجوا لعندك, you need to have answers to all the questions.
Yeah.
So هالincident علمتني كتير. وهالincident خلتني أنا اكتشف إنه I do have the skill. إنه شو ما كانت المشكلة قدامي, let me take a step back, analyze it, and then push again in order to find a solution to it.
And talk about that. My last couple of questions, which is the future. As the CEO of 101 Properties, what is your vision for your real estate business, and how do you hope to influence the industry in Dubai and maybe the world?
When it comes to my vision, and this is not something that I always tell my employees about.
But we should.
Of course. If you have a vision, I mean, it should be in every day. You should be talking about it every day.
moment.
So أنا الفيجن تبعي وبقول لهم إياه لكلهم. بدي إجي نهار على المكتب وشوف في 2 lines in front of the reception area. I used to say it, unfortunately, I used to say it in previous companies I've worked for. لأنه كنت شوف في potential ببعض الشركات. So أنا دايما بقول لهم للإمبلويز تبعي, بقول لهم أنا رح يجي نهار وبدي يجي هذا النهار وين أنا بشوف في 2 lines in front of the reception area. وحدة for clients.
A long line of potential clients.
A long line of potential clients.
Music to our ears.
Exactly. يلي هن بدهم يشتغلوا معنا. Okay. And another line for employees who want to work for the company. So وأنا هون بكون I think I've achieved what I've always wanted in life. يلي هي we go back to we rise by lifting others. So الemployees وقت بصير هن بدهم يجوا لعندك ليشتغلوا, I think you've reached
the pinnacle.
The pinnacle.
Absolutely.
And then when clients also are waiting to work, to do business with you, this is it means they trust you. And it means that you've succeeded in building the best long-term relationship you can ever build.
Amazing.
So
last question. What is the ripple you hope that this episode will create in the lives of all of our listeners?
بقول كلمة واحدة ورح ضلكم تسمعوها مني.
قول.
We rise by lifting others.
Absolutely.
كل ما توعوا كل يوم عملوا شغلة واحدة منيحة مع حيلا حدا around you.
Small act of kindness.
Small act of kindness. And believe it or not, it will change a lot.
I totally agree.
A lot.
Totally agree. Sometimes the smallest things bring the greatest emotions of fulfillment and happiness. And after all, greatness is not how you feel, it's how you make others feel.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mark. It's been an incredible session. I can't wait to do more, and I can't wait to hear and see some more success stories. It's been a pleasure and an honor having you on the show.
Thank you so much, Hayssam.
Thank you so much. Resilience is knowing that you are the only one who has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up. Mark Diab's story is more than inspiring. It's a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure, transform, and thrive. From navigating unimaginable challenges to building a company where happiness and humanity drive success, Mark has shown us that the ripples we create start with the choices we make, even in the darkest moments. Now it's your turn. What will you do to lift others, honor your promises, or build something meaningful? Share your ripple with us and inspire others to take their next bold step, because Every ripple starts with one courageous act. Yours could be next.